us very early this morning. We say thank you for always staying tuned. I love it when we all get together at 5 a.m. and we talk about the biggest stories in the country. Earlier at 5 a.m. we discussed Adam Ashomole saying that it's better to have 774 thieves than to have 36. Meaning that it's better to have autonomy to the local government and let the chairpersons of these local governments steal and loot than to have only the governors stealing. That was what we started the day with. And it was quite rigorous. It was quite interesting and very frank as well. Then we brought you the news. And we're here now, the last hour of the show. This morning, we are speaking about a documentary by BBC Africa Eye. And then this conversation will definitely have you chime in on what you have heard, what you have seen in your journey towards becoming a parent, or what you're even currently going on. My guest this morning is Yemisi Adegoke. She's an award-winning reporter and presenter for BBC News. She specializes in investigations and features. She presents documentaries and podcasts in addition to reporting for TV, radio, and digital platforms across the BBC platform. Yemisi's work has been viewed and listened to by millions around the world and is often focused on human rights, corruption, and the abuse of power. She is also a published writer. She was a columnist for The Guardian Nigeria. She has written features for Vogue, The Guardian, The Independent, and the CNN. Yemisi presented the award-nominated documentary The Cost of Being an Atheist about Mubarak Bala, a Nigerian atheist sentenced to more than 2 decades in prison on blasphemy-related charges. She also did a documentary on retirement hell, the one that exposed corruption in Nigeria's pension system. So she is not new to this sort of work. Yemisi, a very lovely morning to you. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Crossfire.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
That's right. Let's begin. I have seen the documentary. I was watching the documentary with my mouth wide open. I saw quite a number of things that I could have just only imagined that such things could be going on. Like I said earlier before you joined, cryptic pregnancy itself, the phenomenon itself is not new, it's not strange, it's right there in the medical space. But let's start from what led you to this story. Why this story? What inspired it?
Right. So I first heard about this scam in around 2017, 2018. I saw a doctor tweeting about this, saying that there was these women being told that they were pregnant when they weren't. And it sounded so outlandish to me. I couldn't believe that something like this actually existed. Unbeknown to me, my 2 colleagues who are also in the film, Chiagozie and Ebere, they had also heard about this and were doing their own research. They had infiltrated WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups where this type of issue was being discussed. And then our producer, Lena, had also been doing her own research into this. So we all kind of came together and decided to pursue this. It sounded to all of us unbelievable. But when we started digging, we did find that, this is a real problem with potentially really serious implications.
No doubt about it. When your colleagues visited one of the centers in the southeastern part of the country and they were speaking with the doctor, I mean, look, take us through what they found out on their first visit. I'd like you to take our listener through the entire, especially their first visit.
Yeah, so in the first visit, they were posing as a married couple who were struggling to conceive, and they were connected to this quote-unquote cryptic doctor who goes by the name of Dr. Ruth. When they were there, she explained to them what the treatment would entail, that they would, our colleague Ebere would have to take various unlabeled medication. She'd have to take an injection, but that would get her afterwards. She would have to go home, have intercourse with her husband, and she would, as a result, become pregnant. She essentially guaranteed that this treatment would work. And then subsequently, later in the film, when she comes back, it is confirmed that she is pregnant. But we did a proper pregnancy test and found that, of course, she was not pregnant. And in the if the viewers watch the film, you will see Dr. Ruth go into detail about the fact that this is a guaranteed treatment, that this is their last bus stop, and all of that. It's quite a disturbing interaction. And in the clinic, you see multiple women, dozens of women, waiting in line to see this lady. And just knowing that they are also going through this sort of false process, believing that they will also become pregnant, is really heartbreaking.
It is indeed. I saw the film. I saw that there were quite a number of women at the clinic. But Yemisi, tell me, how rampant is this from your investigation? How rampant is this cryptic pregnancy scam? Would like to know.
Yeah, so it's really difficult to get concrete numbers just because this is such an underground scam. Issues around fertility are often shrouded in secrecy. And because of the nature of this scam and its link to child trafficking, there isn't concrete data to say how widespread this is. However, in the clinic that we went to, we did see dozens of women waiting in line, and that was just one Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning rather. And, in the WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups that my colleagues infiltrated, there were hundreds and hundreds of people there.
Wow.
So it's hard for us to put a concrete figure to this. But when we did speak to a doctor, Dr. Kingsley, who's also in the film, he said that we could be potentially dealing with something that is very, very rampant. He thinks that what we've seen is just the tip of the iceberg, which again is a huge concern.
There is also another part to this documentary, which is the part where there will be other facilities where young girls with pregnant girls are being kept and being taken care of just so their babies can. Tell us about this.
Yes, so I mean, for us, one of the big things to try to understand is where these children are coming from. Since we know that these children are not the biological children of the mothers involved, where are these babies coming from? And sadly, they're coming from child trafficking. And in the film, we speak to some girls who were being held in a facility, that they were not allowed to leave this facility. Some were tricked into going there, others went by choice. But this was a place where these girls were being held until they gave birth. And the plan was, once they had given birth, for their children to be given to these cryptic, quote unquote, mothers. And they would be given money and sent on their way. And that is extremely disturbing. We also raided a brothel where there were young women being kept, and in the same circumstances, if any of them happened to be pregnant, their children would be sold. So that is where those babies are coming from. And it's very frightening and very upsetting. I mean, some of the scenes in the film, as you've seen, are quite upsetting with those young girls.
Yeah. Just to track back a little bit, because we lost a few seconds while you were speaking. The first place that I saw in the video, you went to a private clinic where some pregnant girls were being kept. Some were there voluntarily, some were brought there by someone that they trusted. And some found out eventually why they were there,
Yes.
and they felt really bad about it. Do you know how many? Do we have a figure as to how many girls were seen at that clinic and the brothel that you mentioned?
So in the first clinic, we don't have concrete numbers. In the first facility, I think I wouldn't want to put a number to it because we're not
Okay.
sure. In the
Okay.
brothel, there were dozens of girls there.
Hmm.
And these are also these facilities, these brothels, again, dozens of young girls being kept in these places. But because of the nature of this, it's really difficult to put concrete figures to it. It's just too it's impossible to really say.
That's quite unfortunate. That's frightening. That's extremely sad, as well. How about the authority? What do you know? What have you done? What is going on with the government intervention in all of this?
So, in the film, we were in Anambra State, and the local government there is taking this issue quite seriously, as you can see in the film. The Commissioner for Women's Affairs there is sort of leading the charge against it. She's conducted multiple raids across the state to try to clamp down on this.
Hmm.
I think, though, beyond the authorities, there has to be a sort of societal reorientation around the issue of fertility. Until we sort of destigmatize infertility, adoption, other paths to parenthood, no matter what the authorities do, this type of scam will still exist because the desperation for a child
Hmm.
will still exist and the pressures that these women are feeling will still exist. So the authorities can do their part, and at least in Anambra State, we can say that they are doing their part. But
Hmm.
beyond the authorities, this is a societal issue, and
Hmm.
we need to deal with that first. Otherwise, the scam will continue.
Do you think, MEC, do you think this is happening all across the country? I mean, with what you're seeing with the infiltration of WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, and all of those things, would you say that this is widespread?
I would say that this is happening across the country. I mean, we only focused in one state, but there are reports of people coming from other states to do this.
Hmm.
We've heard reports of clinics in other states. This is not something that's just restricted to one place. Because again, this stigma, it exists across the country. This is not a new thing. This is not a singular thing. This is something that women from all over the country deal with in terms of pressures to have children. And some are driven to extremes, and this is one of the extremes.
Hmm. You know, something that stood out for me in that documentary, I mean, I actually have many highlights of that particular work. Brilliant work, exceptionally brilliant work. But one of those things that stood out for me is the fact that some women said that the moment you start raising objections or asking too much questions in some of those, take us through that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So with these sort of cryptic doctors and cryptic nurses, because of how unusual the sort of treatment is, quote unquote, obviously a lot of people will have questions. Even if you're not well versed in pregnancy, there are still certain things that stand out to most people as strange. The fact that you'll still be menstruating, the fact that you're told that your baby is not in your womb, it's in your back. A lot of people will have questions about that type of thing. And for these scammers, they have answers for everything.
Mm.
They will be able to give you reasons why this isn't a typical pregnancy. But if you raise too many objections in these WhatsApp groups or you raise too many questions in these Facebook groups, the admins will remove you. And that's obviously because they don't want other people in the group to start getting suspicious and to start asking questions. They want the scam to continue to thrive. So if you are seen as someone who is probing too much, you'll be removed in order to keep the scam going.
Hmm. Indeed. Let me see. Let's pause because I think that, I mean, you mentioned it succinctly earlier. A lot of women, a lot of married people are constantly being subjected to intense pressure by the society, the conventional society, the religious bodies, the immediate family members. Everybody just looks at you some type of way if they expect you to start raising or having your own kids. You're not there yet. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot of pressure. Because I was wondering, right? Because in that film, like you have said, they tell people that your pregnancy is not in your womb; it's at your back. Like, how? But then you see, desperation can just take a toll on people's reasoning, and then they
Exactly.
fail. Some husband in that report said, no, this is not real, and then they tell their wife that we're not moving forward with this. It's impossible for babies to be at the back. It's very weird, though, don't you think? Like, people will believe such a thing. Yes,
I agree.
go on.
I agree. We heard so many kind of stories that just sounded completely incredulous. So I understand that people find it hard to believe that, educated people will believe this. But you have to understand, desperation pushes people to do things that they probably ordinarily wouldn't do. And then I think as well, for a lot of people, there's this idea that miracles are possible. A lot of these people are believers. They believe in the type of Christianity that promotes miracles. So if miracles are possible, then who's to say that a baby can't be held in the back? Is the attitude, is the rationale that this is a miraculous pregnancy, this is a miracle baby. And you have to understand that at the end of this scam, these people do end up with a child. So it's not like they're going through this and they don't have a child at the end. They do. So to them, this is a process that works. They still get their child in the end. So again, it's very hard to tackle that mentality when you put all of those ingredients together.
Right. And by the way, you can watch the documentary. We're showing you the documentary right now on our live stream on Facebook. Let me see. Where can people see this? Where can they watch this documentary?
You can watch this documentary on YouTube. It's on the BBC Africa YouTube channel, Nigeria's Miracle Baby Scammers.
Indeed. Let's take one or two calls. Let's hear from Lagos this morning. If you've heard about this before, if you've been through this before, please, I'd like to get your thought about it. 0201 277 0993, 0201 277 0993, 0201 465 7190 for the ladies. That is 0201 465 7190. For the ladies listening. And if you'd like to send WhatsApp messages instead, feel free to send it to 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. You can be anonymous if you want to be anonymous. It's okay. If you're currently in one of such groups, would like to get your thoughts. Let's start with this call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I want to be anonymous.
That's okay.
Okay, it actually happened to my aunt. She was trusting God for kids or food, and someone brought someone, and they started giving her this treatment, and they told her that she'll be pregnant. But there are some rules and regulations. One, she will, after she's confirmed positive as being pregnant, she doesn't need to go to any other hospital to confirm it, that they are the only one that will confirm it. Two is that at the time of birth, they have two hospitals, one in Lagos, one in Port Harcourt, where you can give birth. And when they continue with this treatment, when they confirm her 3 months pregnant, I told her, Auntie, why not go to the hospital and check this thing? She went to the hospital and checked, and there was no baby there. The next time, because her own treatment, they were even coming to the house to give her. The next time the woman came there, she almost fought the woman, and that was how we ended it. So it's rampant, and it's because we want to believe, we want to deceive ourselves.
Thank you so much, lady. Thank you so much. But I have to head out now for a quick break. Yemisi, please stay with me. We'll be back to get more calls in. Stay here, please.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. Looking for ways to overcome challenges in your career journey? The perfect time to step into a world of opportunity is now. At Markets for You, a trusted, well-renowned online trading company with over 17 years of experience and customers spread across the globe. Discover a new way to earn and learn by copying top traders from around the world. No previous experience required. If you're 18, you can start earning profits from the comfort of your home today. Visit www.marketsforyou.com or call 0912-779-0500, 0912-779-0500 today to start your journey towards financial independence with Markets for You.
Adu, is it your car that's causing all this smoke? I almost thought the house was on fire.
Mr. Sam, my car's been giving me so many issues. I'm tired. I think I need to look for a better lubricant for my car.
Haven't you heard of NMPC Oleum Lubricant? The NMPC Oleum Lubricant is everywhere in different sizes. There are the 25 liters, 4 liters, 1 liter ATF lubricant, and they've also introduced a top-up size of 0.5 liter, all for very affordable prices at every NMPC retail stations and reseller outlet nationwide.
NMPC Oleum Lubricant? Amazing!
That's not all. With the ongoing promo that lasts till 28th of February 2025, you also stand a chance to win a brand new car and other awesome prizes. All you must do is scratch the panel on the bottle to reveal your PIN and dial star 6700 star 000 star PIN hash. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Wasiu. Please come and change the oil in my car. Make sure you use NMPC Oleum Lubricant.
NMPC Oleum Lubricant. Performance in motion. This promo is powered by Cash Token Rewards Africa.
Trader, are you ready for the flight? Yeah. Maximize your gains day or night. The platform, HFM is the name. Trading with us is a brand new game. Come on, feel alone. Execution slow. Switch to HFM. Watch your success grow. Higher leverage, tighter spreads and swap free. Got your back in this financial fight. Trade forex, commodities, indices, shares and more. Just come and see HFM online trading. Withdrawals, deposit done in a dash. Our execution too fast. HFM stands apart from the rest. HFM stands apart from the rest.
Pico, HFM finito, HFM is ito. HFM na short platform, online trading, forex trading. Any trading, HFM no delay.
Join HFM today. Visit www.hfm.com or download the HFM app on Google Play or App Store. HFM, online trading at its finest.
Are you ready for the anticipated season? It's Lemon Friday promo. The Lemon Friday promo is here again with a juicy offer. Enjoy 40% to 45% discount on all land purchase this season from Adron Homes and Properties, and get a chance to spread your balance within 36 months to 48 months with gift items like turkey, bag of rice, chicken, big cow, gas cooker, and many more. Don't miss out on these festive treats to become a landowner with ease. Our estate locations are Lagos, Abuja, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Niger, Nasarawa, and Jos. For more inquiries, please visit any of our offices or call 090-9393-4115 or 08134216595. Terms and conditions apply.
Adron Homes.
Building cities, communities, and homes.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, torn uniforms, and dirty shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! 25 naira per share, and for every 6 share I hold, I get one more.
What are you doing?
I am counting the numbers I get from over 5 billion shares. FBN Holdings is giving existing shareholders the chance to buy more shares at 25 naira each. This means that if you already have shares in FBN Holdings, you can get one new one for every 6 you own, and there are over 5.9 billion shares available. Don't miss out. Own a share of tomorrow with FBN Holdings rights issue. The offer opens from the 4th November to 12th December 2024. Visit your stockbroker or any First Bank branch, or go to fbnholdings.com to get started. You can also access the offer directly on your First mobile banking app. FBN Holdings. Own your share of tomorrow.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back, Lagos. We're still live here on the Morning Crossfire on Nigeria Info 99.3. Sincere apologies to all our listeners, especially those in the diaspora who have been talking about the app, our mobile app not functioning. Yes, we have a downtime currently right now. The IT, they are almost done with what they're doing. Any moment now, it'll be up, and then you can listen to Nigeria Info. 8:31 from our studios here. I see I have Yemisi on the show. She's a BBC investigative journalist, and we're talking about Cryptic pregnancy, the investigative report that she did alongside her team as well with the BBC. Now, before the break, I was going to take a few calls to hear from Lagos, and the lady that first called us told us an experience that she had. Well, her aunt, her sister, had, and she was aware of it, close to, that experience. So we're gonna still take more calls before I come back to Yemisi to discuss some more. Let's have you, please, when you're calling, you turn off your radio. It's very important. The whole back can be very, very uncomfortable to the ear. Please turn it off, your radio. Thank you. Let's continue with the calls now. Good morning to you.
Hello, Uncle Sheriff. Good morning.
Morning to you.
What you are discussing this morning, it happened to my friend.
Okay.
But all I want to say in this issue that you are discussing now, the stones people throw at those people, and the way the world, the family they marry to, the friends, everything they do to those people that push those people to those extent. Let us we attack all those things also that make them to make those decisions. Thank you.
Thank you too for calling. I'd like to hear from men as well. Let's get some male callers on this conversation. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Sheriff.
Yes, please.
Yes. Concerning this BBC documentary.
Right.
In fact, my name is Darlington, and I'm calling you from Ibeju Lekki Axis.
Welcome.
It is so interesting subject to me, because as I speak right now, my elder sister is in the mortuary because of the so-called, I don't know what to even call it. We didn't know. In fact, everything was shrouded in secrecy. Right there, they live in Port Harcourt, but they had whatsoever they had in Aba, Abia State, and we saw picture of our sister with a bloated tummy, and at the end of the day, they were expecting maybe 32 weeks. It had to take my younger brother, who is a doctor, to say, go, where is the scan? They never did any scan. It was as a result of my brother's push that they did scan and found out there was no pregnancy. Unfortunately, my sister had underlying sickness. She had blood sugar and diabetes, which was much. Unfortunately, she in coma, and from coma she passed away. As I speak with you right now, she's still in mortuary. We're still talking about.
I'm so
burial,
sorry. I'm so sorry.
They were so desperate that they were beclouded with all manner of I don't know what they were rubbished with, and they kept it in secrecy. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. that these things are happening.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
I want us to, if there's a way, I thank BBC for that documentary, and they should go all out to make sure that some other people do not lose their lives through that process. So that is just a little commentary I want to make.
Thank you.
Right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff.
Our condolences to the entire family. I'm really, really, really sorry for your loss. Yemisi, I'm going to come back to you. My phone lines are going off the chains, but let me quickly come back to you on whether you uncovered anything related to what the last caller said about how life-threatening this could be. And maybe some other experiences of other people as well in some of those groups that your people infiltrated. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so yeah, the last caller, I'm so sorry for your loss. That's really, really awful. I think, one of the most worrying aspects about this is that these women are being given, unlabeled medications to take for long durations of time. And we don't know what these medications are. I mean, we did try to get the medication that was given to my colleague tested. Unfortunately, you need a lot of sample material for a lab to be able to determine what the medication actually is, because we had no idea. These pills were completely unlabeled. The injection that was given to us was completely unlabeled. We had no idea where to start. But, it is very dangerous. We heard stories of women who had been taking this medication and, were feeling very unwell. The doctor that we spoke to, Dr. Kingsley, spoke about, we don't know what this medication is. It could be anything. And they're taking this for over a period of time. This is something that causes women's bodies to change. Their stomach starts swelling. What kind of medication does that? And taking that over a long period of time could potentially have really devastating impact on women's health. So it is really dangerous. And, very, very worrying, especially because we weren't able to determine what the medication is. But this is sometimes being taken for, over a year.
Quite unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I'm going to take another call because I have a couple messages here sharing experiences, but let's take this call first. All right, that call is gone. We're going to take another one. Good morning to you.
Hello, Sheriff.
Good morning. Yes, please.
Well, before the last caller, the guy called us. That's what I was going to tell you, because they don't consider the death. The death, not even the cheating and the deceit on, innocent people waiting for their time to have babies. They've, deaths, people die. People die. I don't know what can be done to arrest and stop, especially some of these prayer houses. And like she said, there is a miracle. It's, using God and all to deceive people. How can you tell them not to go for scan? How can? And people are so gullible. My dear, thank you for your investigation. I hope we will hear.
All right.
And like a market woman said, our parents and families these women are married into should stop stressing them.
Thank you. Morning to you too. I'm going to take this message. Adegoke Benjamin says, Sheriff, cryptic pregnancy is also existing in Rivers State. My sister fell victim to it with a husband. Both believed that they were pregnant until we, the family members, took her for a thorough check in FMC Owerri, where several tests confirmed she was not pregnant. We plan to go arrest the very woman, but we're told that the woman is well connected, that it will be effort in futility. That's your message here. Thank you for sharing regardless. Appreciate your time. Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Morning, Ogash.
Good morning.
This is Pastor Adegoke, calling from Ogash. Number one, I have a friend whose wife went through this thing. He got to a point. I became worried. I asked. He said, no, they only go to that place for checkup. But personally, I keep looking. But you will see every feature of pregnancy manifesting in her. The legs will swell, this and that. But the little knowledge I have about pregnancy, I know how it well. At the end of the day, they delivered the baby according to them. But it was no other hospital. That is where my curiosity was.
It has to be. It has to be a particular center, a particular facility.
Yes, it was in that facility. And now, Sheriff, may God help us. There are some of us who have been going through conception challenge.
Yeah.
And then if we don't manage it very well, desperation can make us succumb to some of these things. Like, personally, I've shared it before. This December 20th will make my 16 years still trusting God. But that will not make me want to succumb to some things that I can't even beat my chest. Apart from being a pastor, that I can't beat my chest at this, because I can't imagine it. These things, if it's going to be dealt with, we have to first of all start a campaign, an advocacy,
right,
that will make people to know that if you don't have a child, it is not the end of the world for you.
Right.
Stigmatization and the rest of them should be dealt with.
Right.
Thank you, and God bless me.
Thank you, Pastor Ladipo. Yemisi, let me come to you. I'm going to ask for two things. First is because I've looked through platforms. People are asking what is the title of the video on YouTube, so they can go look it up. Because we're currently even showing parts of the video on YouTube. Please go ahead and share the title of the video on YouTube.
Oh. So the title is Nigeria's Miracle Baby Scammers.
Nigeria's
But
Miracle
if you just
Baby
go to the
Scammers.
BBC Africa YouTube, it's there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant. I want us to go back to the video now. And let's talk about those girls that we spoke about earlier, the ones camped in brothels, in clinics, pregnant. How much were they told that they will be paid? I know that your team spoke with one of them who spoke with your team, and she let out some information. Tell us about that.
Yes, so this young woman, she was one of the ladies in that facility who went there by choice. So she got pregnant and did not want to keep the child, and was told by a friend that this facility was a place she could go and sell her child, essentially. And she said that she was going to be paid 800,000 naira for her baby. But the team that works with the Commissioner of Affairs, Women's Affairs there, raided the facility. So she was rescued from that place and obviously did not go through with selling her child.
Oh, wow. Interesting. One thing that I realize is that, again, this goes beyond people trying to conceive babies. We also need to speak to young girls who are getting pregnant. I'd like to get your thought. I'm not sure that you covered this in that investigation, because I know that. You must have had God knows how many hours of recordings before you could put this together to the duration that it is right now. But did you, by any chance, find out whether these girls, at least some of them, deliberately got themselves pregnant in order to sell? Or they were all lured to these people?
So none of the girls that we spoke to deliberately got pregnant. There was the case of the girl who was pregnant but did not want to keep her child. So she decided that she wanted to sell her baby. the other girls were pregnant and, either their partners did not want them to keep the children, so recommended this facility, and then they sort of found out what was actually happening much later down the line. But from what we were able to find, we didn't see anybody that sort of willingly got pregnant in order to sell in this way. And even in that facility, those women were not allowed to leave that place. So if they changed their minds, if they decided, I don't want to go through with this anymore, they were not allowed to leave. They were being kept hostage there, essentially. They were not allowed to leave that premises at all, which is also very frightening and disturbing for them.
Did you, by any chance, get the feeling that this child trafficking ring syndicate that we're talking about are well connected all through this investigation?
That's a really good question. I think that it's difficult for us to determine because that isn't the aspect of the scam that we looked at, but there is very clearly a link there because with the cryptic pregnancy, one of the other features of it is that the quote unquote doctor will be the person to tell you when you're going to deliver. So they will call you and say it's time for you to deliver. So that could be a year, that could be 2 years, whenever they tell you. And that is because there's now a baby available to give you.
Right.
So there's obviously some sort of tie there between when they actually have the child to give and when the woman in question is able to give labor. So there is a link there to the trafficking, but we did not delve deep into what kind of syndicates or whoever is really running that. That wasn't the focus of this film.
I have to let you go, Yemisi, but before I do, let me ask this last question. Did you or any member of this team face any sort of hostility during the course of this investigation?
I think with my undercover colleagues, Chiagozie and Ebere, obviously going undercover is always a bit tense. There's always the fear there that, you might be exposed, but they handled that very, very well. I think that the people that we spoke to, it took a lot of time to build trust with these women and get them to share something that's obviously quite difficult and painful for them. But once we kind of established that trust, they were able to kind of share their stories with us, for which, we're all very, very grateful. We haven't received any sort of negativity about the piece. It's mostly been shock and, horror in some instances and concern. And our hope is that, it sparks conversations in the right places to safeguard women from falling for this and to, destigmatize things like adoption and other paths to parenthood, because, no woman should be going through this. No one should feel that, the desperation for a child is so high that they're willing to put their bodies through this and take on and engage in child trafficking,
How long did it take you to complete this this beautiful work?
This documentary took close to 2 years to work on.
Wow, that's a whole lot of time to work on it.
It is a lot of time, yeah.
Yeah, well done to you, well done to the team, well done to the BBC. Thank you for the good work that you do. I do hope, I share your sentiment, I do hope that this will ignite conversations in right places, and then we can put a stop to this. This is just one. There are many, many, many of such that we don't even know about. And I'm grateful that people, contributed to the show this morning, confirming that, yes, this is indeed happening. Yemisi, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. Lagos, we're going to continue with the show. Let me take the last set of calls. If you've got experiences, if you know someone who had gone through this, or you're the one going through it right now, you can be anonymous if you wish to be anonymous. If this show is pointing you, is illuminating, is opening your eyes to some of those things or some of the things that you're currently going through. We'd like to get your thoughts as well before we go. We've got about 3-4 minutes before we wrap up the show. 0201 277-0993 and 0201 465 7190. Those are the two telephone lines that we are working with. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, good morning to you.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Sheriff.
We're listening to you.
Yes. It's a true story. It happened. It happens. Yeah. I have a very close friend that it happened to. Even it led to the demise of the wife.
Okay.
Killed the wife.
Is what? The wife
Hello?
died?
Yes.
Oh.
The wife died in the process.
Oh.
Yeah. She was deceived into it. The friend had a wife that they divorced, and she now married this very one. Then they were having problem in her office. A very educated and lettered woman. Her colleagues lured her into this, and she was hiding it. She hid it for her husband. So when she started having the crisis problem, to link the facility, they were not taking calls anymore, and that led to the death of the woman.
Oh.
Yes.
How long ago was this?
It's about 4 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. It's happened somewhere at Yanisolo. That's where the facility is. When we wanted to take actions and whatever, we were discouraged that those people, they have syndicates and they could target us for something bad.
Oh.
So we left everything for God. It happened. It's still happening. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Thank you. Condolences to your friend and his family. Oh, wow. People are going through a lot. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
I don't want to say my name because
That's
of
okay.
what I'm going to say.
That's fine.
This thing is really happening. I even lost a church member for this.
Oh.
We didn't know it was after everything that we know that was what happened. It's like the one they gave her, the injection was not okay. She had infection. That was what killed her. But the child is alive. We didn't know how they did it, but from the beginning of that pregnancy, the woman was sick, was very, 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 very sick. It was later that we heard. We are looking for the pregnancy. We couldn't see the pregnancy, only that she was very, very, very sick before she later died.
Oh.
So they should put eye on that. It's happening. I don't know what could make somebody. If you want to adopt, you adopt. If you want to go for IVF, you go straight. I don't know why people are hiding. Desperation. Fine, you are desperate. You want to get. If you want to go the right way, why are you hiding? You both imitate doesn't do all this. Then why you want people to feel you are pregnant, and who are you trying to impress? Now you are no more. The husband has moved on since. So that's my own. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you. So consider this as a drop in the tiny ocean of many people that had died or that are going to still lose their lives to this criminal syndicate who poison people, deceive people, tell them that their pregnancy will not be in their womb because they know that eventually they may want to go and check. But the pregnancy will be at the back. How weird does that even sound? But that's what they tell them. They also tell them not to go and check in any facility, but they will be the one. The doctor will be the one to call them to say it's time for you to get pregnant, for you to deliver. In that documentary, you see someone who had been pregnant for 14 months, 11 months in that same documentary. Let's be careful. Let's seek knowledge. Let's speak with professionals and professionals only. Let's speak with trusted medical experts. That way, maybe we can. I mean, if you see somebody very close to you going through this, raise the alarm. Don't say it's none of my business. Do something very quick. I'm Sheriff Quadry. Many thanks to Yemisi of the BBC Africa Eye. Many thanks to Zainab for producing this show. Good morning to you.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Looking for ways to overcome challenges in your career journey? The perfect time to step into a world of opportunity is
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.